Hey Cavies, it's Barbie, and this episode is all about dogs. You see a little leg running around in the back. So I'm going to show you how to make the dog food that I make for my dogs. I have 3 dogs, and in a little while I will introduce you to them. And also I will show you how to make a great treat that is all about keeping off the fleas. Oh yeah, we gotta love it. So we start with my rice cooker. Now I make their food based in red lentils, brown rice, vegetables, and then some kind of meat. So what I do is in my rice cooker, well, in a jar, I save the runoff from the canned vegetables that I use, and I just pour it in because the water rinses away a lot of the water-soluble vitamins, so then the dogs get them. Yay! So we win twice. Now you need about probably 5 cups or so of liquid. And I do this with the vegetables, I do this with the meats. Pretty much anything that I use during the week, I keep. So I use the canned chicken and the canned tuna. One, because they have a lot of extra liquid to them, and also they're cheap. They're a lot better quality than what you're gonna get in dog food anyway, but they are still pretty cheap. I like to buy them when my grocer has a buy one, get one free, and that kind of delineates what kind of meat they're gonna get. Sometimes they get a mixture of tuna and chicken, whatever I've got on hand. Also, sometimes if I'm making some kind of meat plate for the caveman, I can save and cut up extra pieces of chicken or tuna or ground beef, kind of whatever you have laying around. Yep, so then I've got those in. Then I do a cup of the sliced red lentils, just right as a base. And then I just use regular run-of-the-mill brown rice. And I put in 3 cups. All right. Then whatever liquid I need to, of course, cover it, I just use the sink water. Here we go. So then it's nice and full. So I just plug it in and hit cook. Now, of course, when you've seen the rice episode, you know that with making really fluffy, nice rice, you want to let it sit for 30 minutes. But with making dog food, they're not so picky. So if you're in a rush, go for it. They're not going to mind, I promise. So then the next thing you need is a container that has a nice snug lid. Then I just layer in the vegetables. Now, I like to use a mixture of peas, carrots, and corn. Now, I leave the corn out quite a bit sometimes because just like us, they don't digest it so well, and it bothers the caveman to see it in the yard, which I don't blame him. So very often I leave out the corn, but today they're getting it. So just pour my vegetables and my meat right in there, and this is how it looks. Isn't that delicious? It smells good, you know. And the dogs absolutely love it. And it's very, very healthy for them. Of course, just like us getting our protein and our vegetables, they need the same. And a lot of times, big brand dog foods are not using the highest quality vegetables or proteins, or there's a lot of fillers. So I really like to make my own dog food for them. They get a couple of crunchies on top, of course, for their dental health. But for the most part, they eat this exclusively. So I'm going to let this do its job, and I'll see you back in a little bit. Hey guys, I'm down here on the floor to introduce you to my fur kids. This is Tristram, the border collie. He's a good boy. He's my little boy. He's very jealous, you'll see. This is, ooh, this is Desdemona. She is my hunka-munka, and you see Tristan's very jealous. Okay, that'll do. I know he's very sweet. And then Flame. Ripley. Here she is. Here is Flame the Greyhound. She is our very gentle giant, and she's so beautiful. So we take real good care of our dogs. They all love the food that I make for them. And they are all very soft, and the vet has nothing but wonderful things to say about their nutrition and how sweet they are. So these are my fur babies, and I'll snap back over and show you the food. Hey guys, the rice is finally ready. So I'm just going to open it up from the rice cooker and give it a quick stir to make sure that those lentils are nice and incorporated. Now you'll notice that the red lentils have kind of washed out to make kind of a yellow lentil color. That's totally all right. They're not gone bad or anything like that. So I'm going to, now remember it's very, very hot, so just keep that in mind as you're working with the pot. So pull it out here. And now, so I have just kind of chopped up the chicken and mixed it into the vegetables, and then I just start spooning it in, and I kind of mix from one side just to mix it in. That's it. It is really easy. The dogs really love it, and it is, of course, extremely nutritious for them. And they just eat it up. So I usually give them about, well, for Flame, the Greyhound, she gets about 2 cups of rice and about ½ cup of crunchies. The doctor, well, the dentist, well, the vet encourages us to feed them Blue or Science Diet. He says that those are kind of the 2 best that he recommends for the different breeds of dogs that we have. But of course you have to go with what your vet says is the best for your dog. So I just mix it on in like this. And keep it in the fridge. And of course it's gonna have to cool quite a bit before you can feed it to them. So here you go. Here is the finished recipe for dog food. So I hope you enjoy it and stay tuned. I'm gonna make a really great dog treat that is made with brewer's yeast and can help repel fleas. Getting ready for the summer months. See you soon. Hey guys, now we are going to make some really delicious dog treats. Now you'll probably see the dogs kind of circling around in the back because they know this is delicious for them. So I'm going to start with a big bowl, and actually this you don't have to cook. We're just going to throw it in the oven and bake it and then make those treats nice and crisp for them to enjoy. Now this is not a vegan recipe. They're dogs, and sometimes using vegan cheeses and things with animals can upset their stomach or give them some really bad gas, especially to bulldogs, so just be warned. So then I just got this finely shredded cheese at my supermarket. They had it buy one, get one, so hey, why not? So I put in 1 cup. I put in 1 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of brewer's yeast. Now brewer's yeast you can get a lot of different places. I got mine at just the health food store. Some grocery stores have it, but this is an important ingredient because it's the thing that repels the fleas. So it's very, very, very nice. So then oats, just whatever oats you got laying around. You need about 2 cups of oats. Yep, 2 cups. Yep, 1 egg. Crack it, whole egg in there. And peanut butter so that it tastes delicious for them and smells delicious. Now again, this is not the brand that I serve to my family. It is just the brand that's buy one, get one free. Ooh, Flame's looking like she wants to go. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the peanut butter to make it real nice and gooey. So then it looks like this. Now the last thing I'm going to do before I really start mixing it well is add 2/3 of a cup of just water, just to help it come together. And you just stir. It's all gooey, but it'll get nice and crumbly, kind of like a cookie texture. And that's when you lay it out on your pan that you see I have ready over there. Just a cookie sheet. There it is. The oven is heated to 350 degrees, and we'll probably cook it for about 20 minutes. Just keep testing them to make sure you don't burn them, but you do want them nice and crisp. Now, of course, you can add a little more water if the stuff is, if the ingredients are really drinking the water, but you don't want it soupy. You really do want it pretty dry and crumbly. Even if you need to jump in with your hands and mix it that way, sometimes it's even better that way. Well incorporated at this point. Ooh, I got all the dogs under me. And this is how it looks. So it really just looks like oatmeal cookie batter, minus the raisins. And it smells very peanut buttery. And then of course, it's got a lot of the really great ingredients in there for it to be both nutritious and ward off some fleas. So, just going to scrape off my spoon, pull over my pan, my cookie sheet, just lightly spray it, and then I'll dump it right there on the tray. Grab and pull out any extra little bits that stuck to the bowl. You'll have a little bit stick, but you know, you do that with cookies too. So then, just have it on our pan, and we're just going to make a final incorporation and press it out so that it's really thin. Just using my fingers to work it towards the outside of the pan and pressing it so that it kind of smushes together and makes one flat surface. Now from here, you're going to want to cut them while it's still soft, because once it starts crisping up, you're not going to be able to cut it without it just shattering on you. Unless you want to make more of a dog granola, that works too. Alright, so I have it pressed out. Here's how it looks. And I'm just going to I'm just going to take a pizza cutter and cut it. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's for the dogs, and they will not complain if it is not a perfect square. They may complain if their pieces are not particularly even, but at the end of the day, they're still dogs. There we go. So I have just cut it. Can you see the lines in it? And then I'm gonna pop it in the oven, like I said, at 350 for about 10 minutes. So I just got the treats out of the oven. See, they look nice and crisp. So I am just going to use a spatula to loosen them a little bit. Now notice that they'll start coming apart at the seams. This is what you want. You definitely want to do this and take your spatula and kind of chunk them into bits. And then I like to lay them out on a cooling rack, especially with the center section, so that they can cool and crisp on their own. So I just do chunks like this. And they smell really good, and the dogs are really licking their lips, but you don't want to serve it to the dogs right out of the oven because it can really burn their mouth and hurt them, you know. So definitely place them on a nice cooling rack. Now, if you get to the place where you've rolled them a little too thick in the center, take off the outside edges. Dusty's right underneath my leg. Take off the outside edges and throw it back in the warm oven, and you can crisp up the center with no issue at all. So, here we go. So nice, healthy, non-vegan, but they're dogs, dog treats that I hope you and the puppers in your cave will enjoy. Hey, Egg.
I'm hungry.
All right, well, I gotta get on the next episode of Feeding the Egg. All right, we'll see you next time on Barbie in the Cave. Remember, like,
Bye.
share,
Subscribe.
subscribe. Bye.